Good afternoon or almost noon. Good day, Liat Berko. I'm so happy to meet you here in our wonderful new innovative platform called O Connect. And thank you for coming. Please, Liat, I know you a little bit. We've been in touch, but this is the first time that we're meeting here and talking actually in English, having a conversation about what you do. So please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Thank you for having me, Ilanit. So I'm Liat Berko, and I'm an intimacy and relationship coach, healer. And I actually work with individuals and couples about the consciousness of intimacy and healing the place of consciousness and love, which is includes a lot of we absorb a lot of trauma during our journey. So doing the work with them, it's actually unfolding it step by step and reconnecting to ourselves, reconnecting to our partner, and this is what I do.
Wow. So let's go a few steps back because intimacy and talking about it out there in the open is something that many people don't do. Actually, probably most of the people don't do. And I assume that you had your journey that brought you to this point. So can you share with us a little bit about your story, your background?
Sure. So, yeah, intimacy is actually taboo. It only happens in between the sheets, and I actually bring it in the conversation out loud. Uh, and my background, I actually grew up in France, so my background is very French slash romantic. I grew up in the culture of French, so that really inspired me to always be very connected to the romance of the way of living. Besides that, I'm a very passionate person, and I know that when we increase our passion in our life and when we live our passion, life is actually it feels different. So most of the time, people are more suppressed, depressed, and they don't like really, live fully out there. And it requires actually to be in an awakening phase because on my personal journey, I was always like in a very joie de vivre, which is simchat chaim in Hebrew, or joie de vivre in French. It's like it's a joyful place of a consciousness that I was living by. But life happened and it started hitting on me, and I got divorced, and my father passed away. So I started really dealing with a lot of challenges, and through those challenges, I actually started to do a lot of deeper work within myself, and I had a spiritual awakening, and that led me to even learn and deepen even more and get into understanding why people are on the verge of divorce today, which the rates are crazy. It's like over 50%. So I start researching into it and studying with a lot of sexual healer in Thailand about tantra, and rabbis that actually talk about intimacy. And myself, I have a master in psychology, which always was very helpful, but now it's starting to be even more. So through that, I really I broaden up a lot of elements, and I put them together today into one method that I call the heart wisdom.
Interesting. So before we learn more about the hot wisdom, I want to just make sure that I understand. I'm taking some tools out of this conversation here as well. But the first thing that I learned from you is basically to empower or improve our intimacy. We should be in positive energy, right? When we
So
are down and, you know, feeling like at a low phase energetic, then it's more difficult to create that vibrant intimacy. Is that correct?
yes, plus when in the word intimacy, it's really into me I see. So the more I see into myself, the more I'm able to see into other people. So the more I'm really in peace with myself, the more I'm aware of my frequencies, the more I'm living my life in a certain energy, because we're made of energy, right? We're made of energy, and people feel your energy. If you want it or not, they feel your energy. So the more I'm in tune with my good energy, the more I'm intimate, the more I'm observing myself, I'm conscious about how I'm living my life, right? And I'm responsible for my own happiness, and I'm not depending on someone else to be happy. Then I'm living a more conscious, intimate life that allow me to come more in peace from within and with my partner.
Wow, that's so interesting the way you absorb it and observe and share with us the lessons. Really interesting. So let's touch a little more deep into your research and your experience.
So most of the research is really was a lot of it was done on myself and on couples of friends that I know. And there is a connection between um, most of the people today, they go to therapy to resolve their problems. So it's a lot of mind efforts. But the way I came up to really understand it, this is the way I work, is on a somatic level. And the somatic level really involve the body, mind, and soul. So you can talk with a therapist for 20 years. You're not going to solve your problems, because if you're not balancing your energy from your body aspect, or you're bringing up your consciousness, your spirit within your whole, then only then your system of who you are is much more balanced. Because people, if you only touch on your body and you're ignoring the other two, it's also not good. So in having people who are really managing to have a healthy, good relationship, are people who knows how to invest in their body, in their mind, and in their soul. So when I say soul, it's like more meditating or living in consciousness. The mind is really being more educating yourself all the time, and your body is really maintaining a certain way of living, that a healthy lifestyle that really include a healthy lifestyle of good nutrition and movements, which is very, very important. Because what's happening is that we all have blockages in our body, and these are energetic blockages. But the more we don't take care of them, the more they're becoming trapped in our body, and that's how we create diseases. So when I'm in in diseases and I'm not in ease with myself, and then I something is out of balance. So I have
That,
to really be aligned, and that's the heart wisdom. Because when I'm aligned between my heart and my mind, I'm able to be more complete, more
that's
in.
really interesting that when we live wholesome within ourselves at these three levels, then we can create better intimacy with our partners. And so I want to touch now on how technology can affect businesses or people's lives. So talking about intimacy is, in my mind, coming into a clinic, speaking with someone. Are you also seeing people online? Because I assume you're living in Florida on the East Coast. I can imagine that there are people around the world that would want to hear more about what you do and maybe how you can help them. So, how do you find technology coming into the business, incorporating it with your meetings?
Well, actually, there is pro and con with technology, right? As we know it, because in a way, it takes away from our intimacy on our day by day, because we go to sleep with our phone and we wake up with our phone instead of with our partner. But on a work level, it's actually working on my behalf because I'm actually leading healing circles, both on in person and on Zoom, from all over the world. I'm running my online courses, and this is how I spread my wisdom. So
So that's wonderful. So
yeah, you
you
can.
have the one-on-one, right? You're working with
So
partners.
I do individuals, and then I do couples privately, both in my practice and both online. I have clients, in California, in Israel, wherever, and then I do healing circles weekly for men, for a group of men, and for a group of women separately. So the woman is on Tuesday at 9 p.m. and the men are Thursday at 9 p.m. So it's a different conversation, and as men, it's magnificent what I'm discovering when they come in together. They finally able to speak their heart, which is not allowed today, for most men to do. But it's usually when they come on the verse of a crisis or on the verse of divorce, and they find a lot of support knowing that there are other men there. So I have the healing circles, and then I have a lot of workshop that I do in Miami, and sometimes I'm invited to speak and to lecture.
So
um,
I should share with our listeners that all your links on how to find Liat Berko will be at the bottom in the description of this recording. Liat, you also told me that you're planning on some retreats in
yes.
the next year and this coming year.
So that's actually in the making. Nobody knows about it. So it's the first time I'm actually going public about it here. And my colleague, her name is Shirley, and she's an expert into um, health and medicine through Harambam, which is a Asian Jewish way of healing our body. And I'm coming with the more spiritual, psychological effect. And we're actually going to start bringing groups of men and women and couples to Costa Rica and really take them on a journey of healing in nature, because there's no place to, nature is the best place to actually heal. And there is a very special energy over there. I just came back from there and I fell in love, and this is the place where we're actually going to be running our expertise with the people.
Wow, that sounds so exciting. And I can just imagine, the sights of Costa Rica and being in that setting with the whole nature of our body, of what you are going to help us discover within. It's amazing how fast our time is running out here, Liat. I learned so much. And this is just the bit of the iceberg, right? The tip of the iceberg. And I want to highly recommend anyone that has any questions about intimacy, contact Liat. I know that Liat is a wonderful person to talk to. She makes me feel very, very comfortable in our conversations. So I want to thank you, Liat, for coming here and sharing with us your expertise and how you can help so many others, whether they're in Florida, in the United States, or online, wherever they are. Liat, so you speak Hebrew, you speak English, obviously, and you said something about your French
Yes,
heritage. So in French as well.
French is my first language, and I understand and speak a little bit of Spanish as well. So I'm three language, yes, which is
Wonderful.
good.
So for those that are listening in French, reach out to Liat and understand French. Reach out to Liat, and I'm sure she will be more than happy to talk to you about this in French as well. So thank you, Liat. What can I here? The timer is already calling me. So what can I wish you for this coming year for 2024?
Well, lots of health and to fulfill all my dreams. That's the most important.
Wonderful. So I will join you in those wishings
And I'm
for
wishing
much
you
health.
that to you as well. And
Thank
thank you
you.
for having me here. And my website is actually my name. So whoever wants to reach out is liatberko.com, and all the information is there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Liat. Thank you for trusting me and joining our system and being here and offering all the knowledge that you did with us today. Thank you. See you
Thank you.
soon.